Entering the 4D Emotional Plane Mystery School. July 8, 2015. Now that you have completed your journey through the lower astral plane mystery school, you continue your journey by entering the emotional subplane along your journey through the fourth dimension. As you make your journey, be sure that you leave breadcrumbs, so that you can easily recognize the pathway that you have created. This fourth dimensional pathway will expand into a road, then into a highway, then into a freeway as you repeat this passage again and again. Remember that you are clearing out the bottleneck between the third and the fifth dimension. As each of you dear interdimensional travelers, repeat, and repeat again, your conscious journey through the fourth dimension, you clear your own residue from your myriad incarnations and/or visitation to planet Earth. Unfortunately, you were often leaving lives filled with fear, anger, sorrow and pain. Because that was how you felt in that incarnation, that was the residue that you left behind on Earth and in Gaia's fourth dimensional aura. In the journey you are taking now, you are prepared with unconditional love and violet fire, so that you can clean up what you left behind in other incarnations. We appreciate that often you are clearing the astral remains left by others, and we deeply thank you for this service. We are pleased that you have evolved far enough beyond your human ego that you can think only of dear Gaia and not worry about what is fair for you to clear. The cleaning crew at the end of a huge party is not concerned about who left what mess. They know it is their job to clear all the mess. They take pride in their work and want to return chaos to order. However, you will not be clearing chaos, as it is a necessary ingredient for great change. Instead, you will transmute that which is the third and lower fourth dimension to create a clear passageway for the many ones who will traverse this road back home to their fifth dimensional starship, planet and/or reality. You see, you are not going home. You are returning home to your true self in the higher dimensions of reality. Your tour of duty on third dimensional Earth is almost completed. So you are clearing the way for yourselves and the many others who are now remembering that their own state of consciousness is their personal starship. However, all the lower consciousness emotions have blocked their journey back into the reality of fifth dimensional light and unconditional love. Hence, as members of our galactic cleaning crew, you are called upon to transmute these fearful emotions into loving emotions. You will begin your task with yourself. First you will pave your way through your own fourth dimensional aura, clearing and transmuting as you go. Then you will return to Earth and begin again. The second time, you will clear and transmute the fear-based emotions of all life on Earth. Does that sound like too huge a task? Are you afraid that you may become trapped in all of the fearful emotions that are strewn through the emotional subplane of the fourth dimension? Yes, you are correct. If you do not personally know your own emotional discards, you will become afraid that they are all yours. If there was a big party, and you had to find your wallet that was lost in the mess, you would need to remember what your wallet looks like. We say wallet because that holds your ID. Your ID is all that you are within your now. Hence, it is vital that you unconditionally love, unconditionally forgive, and unconditionally accept yourself. While you travel through the emotional plane, you do so in search of any thought forms that need to be transmuted. You will begin with your own emotions, and then expand to larger and larger group emotions. Will you clear up other people's mess? You will not clear the emotional messes they have left behind, but you will send unconditional love, forgiveness, acceptance, and a loving blast of unconditional love to these cast-off and forgotten emotions. You will do this, not because you love the people who left them, as you will not even know them, but you will do this service for Gaia, whom you deeply know and unconditionally love. Gaia is not responsible for the emotions of her humans. Also, if some of those lost in darkness receive your unconditional love, then they just might be able to accept it. In fact, more and more of the lost ones are turning away from their fearful beginnings. Most humans are not innately afraid, angry, and/or destructive. They are trained to be that way by their parents or some early childhood trauma. We know that many of you, our emissaries to Earth, chose to have extremely difficult childhoods so that you could work through the pain of those experiences. You made that choice because, when you cleared your own trauma and inner pain, you also cleared the damage done to Gaia. You see, your physical earth vessel is one with Gaia, via the connection of the human and planetary elementals of earth, air, fire and water. What brave warriors you have been! We salute your victory in the light. It is this reason that we wish to assist you as you clear the dredges for fearful thought forms and energy packages that have littered Gaia's emotional aura for millennia. We remind you that just as you transmute Gaia's damage, you also transmute your own damage. When you transmute Gaia, you transmute yourself. This interrelationship is because of Gaia's law of cause and effect, energy out is energy back. This interrelationship works slowly at first until you release all sense of being a victim and take full responsibility for choices and reaction. This responsibility is not blame in any manner. Instead, this responsibility is a recognition that you chose to take on these challenges to clear any outstanding debts from former incarnations, and because you knew it would make you strong. Furthermore, no one in the fifth dimension could even imagine, or choose to remember, just how dark it had become on Gaia's beautiful planet. Much of that darkness still remains in the third dimensions, but as you clear the fourth dimension first, you bar the escape of that darkness. Those who have taken an incarnation on Gaia must abide by the law of cause and effect. If they are to transmute their consciousness beyond the dark indoctrinations that they have received, they must experience the return of what they have sent out. Again, this event has begun. Because of all the light and love that our ascending ones are sending out, more and more of those lost their power over others are volunteering to abide by Gaia's rule of cause and effect. Therefore, they actually volunteered to receive that which they have put out, because they know that is the only way they can ascend with the planet. How do they know this? They know this because the light is so strong that even those once trapped in the web of lies, illusion and darkness are beginning to awaken. Hence, our dear volunteers to Gaia, as you clear your passageway through the fourth dimension, please perceive, accept, and claim every fearful emotion you have left within your own fourth dimensional aura and within the fourth dimensional aura of Gaia. Accept these hidden and frightened emotions into your ever-expanding knowing and loving states of consciousness. If you are to forgive them, for they know not what they do, then you must also forgive yourself, for you knew not what you did. Life on third-dimensional Earth has created many fear-based emotions. As you collect these emotions within your heart, you see the fourth-dimensional emotional mystery school. Your heart becomes heavier and heavier as you collect myriad third-dimensional lifetimes filled with fear, anger, pain, sorrow, regret, and judgment. These emotions have sunk to the bottom of this fourth-dimensional pond. To your surprise, as you move closer and closer to the mystery school, you see emotions of joy, love, happiness, and celebration. Gleefully, you collect these emotions, as well. The doors to the mystery school open, and you observe as all the versions of yourself still lost to fear and judgment from you, run into the arms of the loving priests and priestesses that stand just inside the open doors. Do I really deserve that love and forgiveness? You whisper into the ear of the closest priest or priestess. However, as that being of light turns to face you, you see yourself. The being of light that is you points down to the portal of light that you have created and says, "Do you see how very creative you are?" As you enter the mystery school with joy and hope, you ponder your own creativity. As the light of the mystery school clears your fear and fills you with love, you become that higher version of yourself. Can you remember to be that you when you return to the third dimension? Channeled by Suzanne Lee. Note from Sue. Our fourth dimensional journey to this mystery school was guided via our second chakra, which is ruled by our ovaries and testicles. Therefore, our own creative energy field will be called upon to create the portal into the 4D emotional plane mystery school. While in this mystery school, we will be guided to remember that our emotions are a powerful component of our every creation. If we are to come into our power within, in the 4D mental plane mystery school, We must first recognize the power of our emotions. Our thoughts create the matrix for our creations, but our emotions fill that matrix with life. As mentioned above, many of us took on a very difficult childhood because we wanted to clear the slate and ascend in this lifetime. When we remember to choose love over fear, which can be a very difficult task, we discover that the first person we must love is our own self. Fortunately, that self includes our own multidimensional self, who can lead us from the perspective of the higher dimensions. How do we connect with that self? Of course, it is through our emotions. Dear friends, we are coming into some great changes, so please remember to live in love. www.suzanneleephd.blogspot.com